Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I thought I would talk about my makeup brushes and just show you my collection. I have my face brushes in one little pot and my eye brushes in another. I got these pots from IKEA last year and I contemplated spraying them because I thought they might look nice sprayed, but I've just kept them white in the meantime. I think they were maybe like £2 each and you get them in the candle area or the flower area, I think. I think these are possibly like plant pots. But funny feeling they're like plant pots or something like that. But that is where these little pots came from and I think they're really, really cute. I'll start off with my face brushes. I'll show you the ones that I use regularly and then I have a few that I have in here but I don't tend to reach for them that often. For foundation I have two main brushes that I would use. I have the Real Technique bold one in 101, like the triangle-y one. I don't know if I like this brush or not. I bought it obviously to like complete the set of the bold metal ones that I have, but I'm not so sure I like this brush for putting on foundation. Sometimes I use it, but the one I generally use for putting on my foundation is the Real Techniques Expert Face Brush. It's just sort of a dense packed brush and I would generally use this one to put on my makeup. It's probably my go-to foundation brush. So those are the two foundation brushes that I have. For powders, if I'm applying any powders on my face to set my makeup, I use either the Real Techniques 100 brush or the 103 brush. So this one's like a big fat fluffy thing. It's just a big fluffy powder brush. This one is basically the same, however it's slightly angled. So this one you couldn't ever buy on its own. You got this in a pack and it came with two other brushes. I can't remember what the two other brushes were. I want to say a blusher brush and an eyeshadow brush, as well as like a little cosmetic pouch. But I prefer this one to the big fluffy one. I think it just gets the powder on the face a lot better. So that is my go-to powder brush. For blush I have a few different brushes. Again, I have the Real Technique Bold 300 brushes. I have two of them because I like them so much and it's always good to have spare of the brushes you like. So these ones are the rose gold ones. Then three other ones that I have, but I tend to not use them that often. I'll generally just reach for the bold metal ones. This one is a Bella Pro one. I think this one came from like TK Maxx and it's just a big fluffy brush. And then I have the Real Techniques Multitask brush. It's just a general good all-rounder brush, but I find it best for putting on blush. And I have this one here and it says look good, feel better. I think this one came from TK Maxx and even though it does say a powder brush, I would probably use this as a blusher brush. I haven't used this one yet, so that's why I didn't know that it said powder brush on it. Next up are two brushes that I have for contouring, and again the good old trusty Real Techniques Bold Metal in 301. So this one is another rose gold one. I love this brush for contouring. It's just a very dense packed brush and it makes it really, really nice and easy to apply some contour and get it blended in. The other brush that I love as well for contouring is the Nars Ita. I think it's Ita. I really should have looked this up before doing this video, but it's this one by Nars. And this is such a good contouring brush. It's really, really light and fluffy and it doesn't apply your contour too dense. It blends your contouring really, really nicely and this is probably my go-to contouring brush. So if you can get your hands on one of these, get one because I really, really like it. Next up are some random brushes that I have that I would sometimes use on my face. I have two of the Real Techniques 200 brushes. These are typically used for eyeshadows, but I have quite small eyes, therefore my eyelids are quite small, and I just find that these ones here, are quite big and I don't get the precision that I need. I moved these to my face pot because I think they actually make a really good highlighting brush. So whenever I highlight, I tend to not put that much on. But if I am putting any on, I just put it on the tops of my cheeks and on my brow bone, just a little bit. And I find that I can get the precision I need with these brushes. So I moved them to my face pot, but typically they are meant to be an eyeshadow brush. Then I have my Zoeva concealer buffing brush. I tend to not use this as a concealer brush. Sometimes I will use it for applying contouring powder, just if, I don't really know why I do it as a contouring brush, but I just apply the contouring powder where it needs to go with this, and then I will blend with either the Real Techniques brush or the Nars brush. So typically a concealer brush, but I use it sometimes as a way of putting on contouring powder. And then finally I have the other Real Techniques brushes. This one is a setting brush, which I should really use for setting powder, but sometimes I just use the beauty blender to do that. And then the other one is a pointed foundation brush. I don't know if I've ever used this, but it's in my face pot, just in case I do decide to use it. First, I'm going to show you the ones that are in my eyeshadow pot. So I bought I want to say it's a 12 piece. I think it's 12. It's either 10 or 12 piece Zoeva eye brush set. So this is what you get with your Zoeva 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, it's 12 piece because of the concealer brush. This is the volume 2, I think it is, in rose gold. I've never used this, but this is the Luxe brow. So that's to carve out your brows. So it's just a very dense brush for carving eyebrows. Next we have the Luxe Crease one. I generally just use, most of these fluffy ones I will use just for applying eyeshadows and blending eyeshadows and things like that. So I don't particularly use any one for any particular job. So this one is the 228 Luxe Crease. So again, what the job says is probably for your crease, but I'll just use it as an eyeshadow brush. I quite like the Zoeva brushes. They're just nice big fluffy brushes. We have the classic shader, something a little bit similar to the crease one. This is number 232. Next we have the 227 soft definer. Brushes are all very much the same, slight difference. They're all used for the same thing in this house. We have the 231 Petit crease. Should you have a Petit crease, this is the brush for you. Although, again, I just use it as an eyebrow or eyeshadow brush. Then we have the 221 soft crease brush. Again, another big fluffy one that's really good for applying eyeshadow. Then we have the very, very, very tiny, can we see this? Very, very tiny brush. I'm not even sure if you can see that. This is the liner brush. So lining your eyes with, if you're using gel liner, this is the perfect one for that. I can't apply gel liner, so this is no use to me. Then we have the Luxe pencil. I'm not entirely sure what you would use this for. Sometimes I think I've used this in the past for highlighting the corners of my eye. Then we have the brow line brush, so that's probably carving out your eyebrows or applying powder to your eyebrows to define them. I don't think I've ever used this brush, but it's there because I got it as part of the 12-piece set. My last Zoeva brush that I do use quite frequently is the Precise shader brush. Again, I don't use it as a shader brush. I use it to highlight the corners of my eye because it's very tiny and it's perfect for not applying too much highlight to the corners of your eyes. So that is what I use that one for, and I really like this brush. Oh, I missed one. There is this one here and it has a slight angle to it, and this one is the 235 contour shader brush. Again, I think I just use this as a normal eyeshadow brush. I'm not that picky whenever it comes to brushes for putting on eyeshadow. If it's fluffy and it'll blend my eyeshadow really nicely, I don't mind. So whatever is clean and fluffy at the time I will use for applying eyeshadow. Next I have some Real Techniques ones. I tend to actually not use Real Techniques eyeshadow brushes. The other ones I showed you that were part of my face ones are too big for me. I just don't like them as an eyeshadow brush. But then I bought the 201. So that is what that looks like. It's a very dense round one, and that's for your crease. But I haven't seemed to be reaching for this an awful lot. It's in my pot because I bought it way at the start whenever the Bold Metals came out. And I think I did use it back then, but ever since I bought the Zoeva brushes, I just haven't really been using this in my crease. Then I have two other Real Techniques ones. This is the Essential Crease Brush, and the Fine Liner Brush. Again, I haven't used either of these yet, but I will probably use the crease one because it seems like it's nice and fluffy. And again, I can't put on liners, so there's really no use for this one, but I got this in a pack, so I can't pick and choose. Next up, I have a random Urban Decay one. This came in the Naked 3 part, and I actually really like this. So it's like really thin, dense at one end and then fluffy end at the other. And this is a really good brush. So this one's really good for packing on colour if you want to have a bold lid. It's really good for packing on colour. And then this one's really lovely and soft and blends really, really well. So thumbs up for this one that came part of the Naked 3 pot. Then the same as the other one that I got from TK Maxx from the Look Good Feel Better, I got a tapered blending brush. This is just a massive big fluffy brush, so perfect for applying some eyeshadow. So that is my makeup brush collection. I know there's not that many. It could be a lot worse, let's be realistic. If you like this video, make sure and give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Have any makeup brushes that you really like, or have any of these ones, do let me know in the comments below. I always like to find new makeup brushes and try them out, so your suggestions are more than welcome, and I'll see you next time. Bye!